Hi everyone, Sandra Vale here at Homesteading Ways, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really easy crusty bread in a cast iron pot or a Dutch oven. And to start with, all you take is 3 cups of flour, a half a teaspoon of yeast, 1 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and you mix them together. How easy can that be, right? You just want to mix it up a little bit. You don't have to get all technical or anything. Alright, then you're going to add a 1.5 cups of lukewarm water. And you're just going to mix this up into a shaggy, sticky kind of wet dough. This is a fabulous bread to add stuff to, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. In here I have a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and some newly roasted sesame seeds. You just want to make sure it's all combined so that none of the flour is dry. In fact, this isn't looking as shaggy as it should. I'm going to add maybe just a little bit more water. I'm using just plain, ordinary flour. Not bread flour, not pastry flour, just straight up flour. Now see, this is kind of sticky and whatever. That's exactly how you want it. I'm just going to move it a little bit more because of the sesame seeds and the powders I put in there. And for now, that's all you do. Scoop it down the sides here, just make sure it's all together like that. Then you're going to take your saran wrap, plastic wrap, and cover it. Now you're going to let it sit 12 to 18 hours. Don't have to do anything to it. Don't put it anywhere special. Just leave it up here on your countertop. And then after 12 to 18 hours, we'll get ready to bake it. I'll be back then. Okay, it's been about 18 hours now. And so the first thing I'm going to do is turn my oven on to 450 and let it preheat. Usually that takes about 10 minutes. And as soon as it has preheated, which mine has, I'm going to put the cast iron pot in there with the lid on. Now this pot's a little bit big for this recipe, but my other pot needs to be reseasoned, so this is what I'm going to be working with. I'm just going to get that in there. Make sure your oven racks are low enough to accommodate your pot. Now that pot had feet on it, so it was kind of hard to get it in there. But we're going to leave it in there for 30 minutes, and then we're going to put the bread in. But let's move on to that right now and see what we do with the dough. Okay, so now the dough has sat for the 18 hours. It can be less than that, but that's just what it took me. You're going to pour it out on a very heavily floured surface like this. See how it's still real wet? Get it all out there. Really sticky. But then you're just going to put it on the flour like so. And just form it into a ball. You don't have to mess with it too much. That right there is good enough. Put it back in your bowl. Put your plastic wrap on it again. And let it sit there until your pot's ready, and then we're going to put it in the oven. Okay, it's been a half an hour, so I took the pot out of the oven, and now I'm just going to put the dough in it. Still a little bit sticky, but I'm not worried about that. Now we're just going to put the lid on and put it right back in the oven. Now it's going to stay in the oven for about a half an hour, so time it for 30 minutes. Once that time is up, you're just going to take the lid off, put it on your counter, whatever, and keep the bread in the oven for an additional 15 minutes. Once that's up, then you're going to pull it out, and you're just going to let your bread rest on a cooling rack. But I'll be back to show you when it's finished. Alright, well it's been out of the oven for a while now and cooling here on my counter. And I think it turned out pretty good. It did spread out a bit because of my pot being so big, but that's okay. I think it'll still taste fine. Remember, you can add things to the dough, just like I did. You could add some minced garlic, maybe some rosemary, maybe even cinnamon. The bread is great to have with like soups and stews, but it's fine by itself too. Put some butter on there, some jam, it's all good. Well, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you taking time out to do it. Comment and subscribe, that would be great. It was nice talking to you, and you take care.